Hey, what's up? This is Michael. Today's video is about how to get your business class flight cheap. We're gonna check and see how you book, how you have to do that. Because actually there is no website or there is no cheap airline which just offer cheap business class flight. It's a combination of all informations I'm gonna give you today in this video how to get your cheap flight. My channel is about traveling. I review flights, hotels, exotic destinations, or topics like best beaches. If that's anything interesting for you, consider subscribing. We're gonna need basically two tools for booking your cheap flight. That's the app Hopper, and that's the website Google Flights. And on Hopper, you basically check only like when the flights which you want to use are the cheapest. And on Google Flights, of course, we check the prices of all airlines. Before you book your business class flight, or before you're gonna decide to book your business class flight, you should understand some things that this way I'm showing it to you today is a way which works, and it's not like I got the information from somebody on another video or just somebody said it to me how it works. It's something I personally use, and it works for me. This don't work the normal way. So there are three things you need to do or make work, make it happen before we book. One thing is the departure and destination airport. It is not necessarily the one is the most near to your place, and it's maybe not also not the one which you actually hitting to. Second, you are not picking the airline, so it's not like you just want to fly with them or with them. And the third is the date. I know probably this is the most difficult one, but if you want to fly cheap, you need to be flexible. So if you want to fly on a specific date on a Tuesday, and that must be the 10th of any month, it will be difficult unless you book way ahead. If you are able to change the date of your departure, if you are able to adjust some things, you are definitely able to get a cheap business class flight. So it depends on the purpose of your flight. If you have a meeting and you need to be there on a specific day and a specific airport, if you have much notice of that way earlier, that's then also possible. If you just want to travel and you just would like to go there in a business class, then this video will definitely help you. I'm explaining you now what you have to do is first. So if you're open for the date when to fly, you check on Hopper. It's like a calendar of the whole year, and it shows like green, yellow, and red spots for every day. So, and it shows you when it's expensive to fly and when it's cheaper to fly. It's not based on business class. It's just based on all flights. So you can choose there your departure airport and your destination airport, and you see like when it's green. And these dates you should try to use if you have the possibility, of course, to choose when you could go. If you don't, then anyway, we're just gonna try to find the cheapest flight you're able to catch. So then you just miss Hopper. That's never mind. But if you can, you check on Hopper when it's green. With this dates, you go to Google Flights. That's a website from Google, and there we can compare all kind of flights. When you know when you can go and you checked it on Hopper, I suggest you check several airports. On Google Flights, it's also a very nice function that you can add like several airports into it. I don't mean like all New York airports or all London airports. I mean like you add London, you add maybe Manchester, you add maybe Frankfurt in Germany or Berlin or whatever is near your place, whatever you are ready to travel to as next as an airport where you could departure from. That helps a lot. And the second thing, um, your destination airport, if you have to go, let's say to New York, then of course you choose all New York airports, but that's not, again not what I mean. You check on the map and check for all airports nearby. Maybe even Washington. There are several ones. I know it's not like exactly nearby, but as more airports you can add, as more options you get. So let's say you actually make a trip to the United States and you want to see New York. Okay, then you could go still to Washington, make a trip from there. There are buses or trains going to New York anyway. It depends on how you look on that. If that business class is necessary for you for the trip, because you just need to arrive relaxed, or if it's a thing you want to enjoy and experience it in your life. However, there is also another, now maybe not trick, but a possibility. So if you check these several airports of departure and arrival, for sure, what's cheaper is if you have a stopover. So if you need to go first from one to another and then to the next. I recommend that there have to be one stopover. That makes the whole story cheaper. So more, it's probably then too uncomfortable and makes the whole business experience anyway pointless. So if you found the destinations you could go, there's also sometimes like possibility that your actual stopover is your actual destination. Let me explain. If you choose your flight from, let's say, London, and you choose to fly to, you want to fly to New York, but you choose Washington, DC. Your flight is probably anyway having a stopover in New York, but this flight will be cheaper than a straight flight London to New York. Why? Because the airline um, means that every stopover is a discomfort. So even if that you're actually getting more service, like two flights, it can be cheaper. So then here, what you have to do if you look for that Washington and want to go to New York, watch for a flight which have a long layover in New York. With this long layover, you can request the airline that they give you your luggage back in New York. So, and voila, you just missed the flight to New York, to Washington, and you stay in New York. That way, you got a little bit cheaper, and you anyway not need to go to Washington. But let's put the focus mainly on the actual arrival where you want to go. If it's New York or whatever, Toronto, you find it on the Google Flights search engine. You put all your details, you put several airports in there, different destination airports, different arrival airports, and you're open for the date. You see in Google Flights the dates and the prices of the flights. So with that, you just see down there the results, and here you go, your cheap business class flight. If this video was helpful, if you liked it, please consider subscribing and giving me a thumb up. Thank you for watching. See you. All the best to you. Bye-bye.